Season's greetings, YouTube family, and welcome back to Fine Art Lifestyle, a channel where aesthetics should never be compromised. In this segment, I wanted to concentrate on a full-blown Christmas decorating of my entire main floor living space in my 1895 Victorian home. I have tackled the staircase in the hallway, the kitchen, and of course, the living room, our most formal space that I'm currently sitting in right now. This Christmas, I want to let this room specifically dictate the decor. I wanted to incorporate the cherished and loved items that I've collected over the years into the Christmas decor. So for example, some of my blue and white Chinoiserie vases will be used throughout, including a large floral arrangement for the tablescape. The color palette, and you can actually see it right here, is powder blue or navy beautiful Chinoiserie blue with whites, creams, and golds. And of course, a little bit of sparkle because you can't make it magical without sparkle. So come along as I show you how I did this. I hope you enjoy the video. Please consider subscribing, like the video, and comment below. They say that first impressions are important, and this is definitely the case in design because they set the tone for the rest of the decor throughout the space. As an honored steward of this graceful 1895 Victorian home, I'm so lucky to have a wide grand staircase with a lovely wood banister that curves around at the foot of the stairs. This is the ideal foundation for hanging garland. I adore my Martha Stewart ultra-realistic soft-touch cypress cedar garland because they feature a subtle dusting of snow and real clusters of pine cones. I also appreciate the generous 9-foot length. I wanted to create a whimsical and organic look, so I wrapped the garland around the spindles and newel post in a serpentine configuration, taking extra care in shaping every cedar tip in a curvilinear fashion to give the appearance that the branches are hugging the banister. I adorned 3 sections of garland with a lush French blue velvet ribbon trimmed with a fine gold edging. I used 4-inch wide ribbon to create these voluminous bows at a 60-inch length to ensure they had long cascading tails. From the center of the bows, I attached a pair of gold pine cones tied together with a thinner 3/8 of an inch velvet blue ribbon. This creates a sense of balance and harmony, filling in the empty spaces and inviting the viewer's eyes upward. As visitors enter my home, they are greeted with a festooned staircase of cascading cedar garlands, sumptuous velvet bows, and gilded pinecone ornaments, beckoning them into the heart of the home. Next stop, our kitchen. In the kitchen and dining area, I have my favorite gilded Louis XV mirror and console table. The holidays are always an opportunity to embellish this area. I used the same cedar garland to drape the mirror in an asymmetrical fashion from right to left and followed the same shaping principles as I did on the banister by curving each tip to create a playful and realistic look of fresh cedar. This fluffing technique adds body and movement to the garland so it looks lively. If you forgo this step, your garland can appear flat and lacking in interest. I have a collection of crystals from my chandelier restoration project, which I used to cloak this garland in sparkling splendor. I strung up tiny crystal beads on a transparent nylon fishing line to create 6-foot-long jeweled garlands that I swagged across to mimic a necklace and wrapped around the tail end of the garland. Using spare crystals of various shapes and sizes, rounds, squares, teardrops, diamonds, and icicles, I grouped together smaller crystals with larger ones to create ornaments reminiscent of chandelier earrings and disperse them evenly along the span of the garland. Just below this glitz and glam is a stunning brass reindeer head with his majestic candelabra antlers, boasting 6 candle holders. This stag is the stuff of dreams. I adorned his neck with another 4-inch blue velvet bow, which added the perfect accent of color since gold and blue are complementary colors that work beautifully together and are pleasing to our eyes. The garland and mirror frame him so beautifully, allowing him to take front stage as everything around him basks in the dim amber glow of candlelight, with the crystals glimmering and casting a magical spell over the atmosphere. I can already imagine guests awaiting their welcome cocktails and appetizers in my bustling kitchen, chatting up a storm and catching a glimpse of their reflection as they encounter this Christmas installation. Behind the sofa are a pair of gold and crystal buffet lamps and my beloved Marie Antoinette bust. I enhanced the space by placing cedar stems within the structural armature of the lamps, mimicking its organic shape. I hung gold birdcage ornaments off of the branches on either side for symmetry. To accentuate the bust, I adorned Marie with a gold leaf and pearl strand designed as a hair accessory. Touches of blue were added in the velvet ribbon bow accents on the bird cages and at the bases of the lamps. On my antique French commode, I created a light-up birdcage display using LED fairy lights, which I suspended from the top of the cage by attaching a few wires. I also popped in 3 LED pillar candles on a timer and adorned the top of the cage with a faux cedar stem, a few crystal picks, and a blue bow. I flanked the birdcage on either side with handsome brass deer, creating a triangular formation with the highest point in the middle of the display and tapering down in size to the lower pieces on the sides, which creates a sense of harmony and is the design principle that I use on my dining tablescape. In the center of the dining table, I used a ceramic blue and white Chinoiserie planter to put together an abundant Christmas arrangement. Using various pine and fern stems, I created the base of the arrangement and filled it with blue thistle and gold ornamental pine cones. For that very special touch, I incorporated a hand-blown 24-karat gold glass Egyptian ornament, topped with a lavish blue velvet bow and shapely cascading tails. I repurposed the same gold leaf and pearl vine hair accessory from earlier by cutting them into smaller pieces and decorating the branches. For a little more glitz, I used the acrylic teardrop picks to fill out the arrangement. The final touch was adding 3 clip-on LED battery-operated candles. On either side of the arrangement, I placed a large brass hurricane candle holder and decorated the base perimeter of each with more faux cedar stems. I took the time and care to shape them into circular form, creating a wreath-like appearance. To each of these wreaths, I added more gilded pine cones, teardrop picks, and a small 1-inch blue velvet bow. This ties together the seasonal motifs used throughout the entire main floor of the house. For the table settings, I selected glass, gold-rimmed Italian charger plates with an etched pattern across the edge of the rim. They are absolutely stunning and come out only for the most special of occasions because they are so rare. For the dinnerware, it was natural to continue the blue and white theme, so I used my floral blue and white azuelos inspired Portuguese ceramic plates. We tend to have a 2-course meal with appetizers, which I set up as a buffet-style presentation in the kitchen for the first hour, followed by an entree dinner course which I plate individually for every guest and serve at the dining table. Sadly, my gold flatware has seen better days. The gold has started to wear off and it is time to replace these, but for now these will have to do. I do like their elegant and slim profile. They're not heavy but are balanced in the hand. Ergonomics are just as important in cutlery as the aesthetic. For the stemware, I opted for a similar etched vintage Fostoria Navarre crystal goblet and wine glasses. These tie in together beautifully with a charger plate. They are simultaneously demure and yet striking. It has taken me nearly a decade to find a set of 6 for an affordable price. These also come out to play for very special events. I think most of us will agree that a Christmas tree is perhaps the most important aspect of a Christmas decor, but selecting the right tree to be the belle of your ball might be equally vital. Since sharing is caring, here are my top tips to elevate the look of your tree to designer level. Tip number 1, start with jeweled garlands. Yes, pearl, crystal, clear acrylic or metallic gold or silver strands with reflective power are jewelry for your trees. They pick up on all of the lighting and multiply it, creating a dazzling effect. For my tree, I used gold-wired garland with clear acrylic droplets and gold sparkles. I placed the garland to the wider sections of the tree. At the base and in the midsection of the tree, I used in a wave-like pattern. Tip number 2, decorative picks. Depending on the style of you are attempting to achieve, your picks will vary. But for me personally, I just like the jeweled garlands, and I love the look of jeweled picks. For this tree, I'm using matching clear acrylic droplet picks with the gold sparkles in a large size for the base of the tree, since the branches are much wider and larger, and smaller picks on the upper branch tiers to maintain proportions. Tip number 3, separate ornaments by style, scale, and color into separate groups and go through each group one by one, evenly dispersing the ornaments throughout the tree. This ensures you use up most of your ornaments and that the tree features at least one of those styles and colors on all of its visible sides. In this example, I began with my basic gold and blue baubles first. Then I followed with the next grouping of blue and white ceramic ginger jar ornaments. After that, I added the etched 24 karat gold hand-painted Egyptian ornaments that I strung onto velvet ribbon for a more prominent statement. So on and so forth until the tree is filled. At that point, I move away and see if there are any empty or bare spots, and I can fill them with simple round baubles or leftover ornaments. Tip number 4. I reserve the front branch tips and the center of my tree, which is about eye level, for show-stopping ornaments that take my breath away. The simpler ornaments, like basic round baubles, act as background dancers who have a supporting role in creating a stunning backdrop for my leading ladies. Tip number 5. Add layered lighting. In my case, I use clip-on battery operated and remote controlled realistic LED mini candles that I evenly spaced out along the tree branches. Tip number 6. Forgo on the long strands of ribbon garland, but do create smaller ribbon bows like I did here with my 1-inch wide wired blue velvet ribbon. The wired ribbon has an advantage of being pliable and can hold any shape your little heart desires, and my heart desires bows with voluminous loops and swirling tails. Mission accomplished. I'm not going to shy away, and I will say it, my tree is the belle of the ball, cloaked in splendor, bedazzled and bejeweled. She is my work of art, and she brings absolute joy to our eyes. On any given day and any given time, we walk into the living room to take a pause, sigh, and appreciate her rare seasonal beauty. So the reason my video was published 2 weeks behind schedule was because I was waiting for these prickly pine garlands for the mantle. When they arrived, I was disappointed at how sparse and thin they were, but I had ordered a pair of Norfolk pine garlands and was able to salvage this project by combining them together for a lush and full garland. Using some clear command hooks and Christmas stocking mantle clips, I was able to secure the garlands on either side of the lady of the manor. That's the marble bust of the young woman who presides over our household. I am madly in love with her. She bewitched me and compelled me to buy this home. We joke all the time that she is our master because we have now spent some 12 years and counting toiling in this house under her spell to constantly enrich and preserve Her Majesty's history and beauty. Back to the garlands. I strung up a couple of blue and white ceramic bells that dangle from the blue velvet bows in each corner of the garlands. Then I proceeded with placing the crystal picks in groups of 3 to each garland on either side of the fireplace mantle. They complement the tree decor seamlessly, tying everything together for harmony and balance. I completed the look with 2 needlepoint Christmas stockings featuring Father Christmas and a Christmas tree in my color palette of white, gold, and blue. Upon the mantle, I curated a romantic vignette of my treasured ceramic Christmas deer, flanking a Chinoiserie vase and a trio of brass candlesticks embellished with flowy velvet ribbons. The final element was my old but very loved laurel, leaf, and crystal drop wreath, which I adorned with a large velvet bow, winding the tails around the sides of the wreath to create a very French cartouche style ornament for the mirror and mantle showcase. Thank you so much for joining me on my channel today. I hope you had a lovely time here. I certainly had a lot of fun decorating this year, and I think it turned out really beautiful, if I may say so myself. A little pat on the back, I think doesn't hurt anyone. If you enjoyed it, please do subscribe and like. That does go a very long way for us YouTubers, especially starting out ones like myself. And I want to wish you and your family a very Merry Christmas and a magical holiday season.